Alrighty, so they released some new Tower of Trials floors, so we're going to be looking at floor 10 today, and this one is very, very interesting so far. So this is kind of the team that I'm messing around with at the moment. I haven't actually tried it out yet, but I've done a couple of runs with some of the other teams that I've sort of seen and tried to mess around with them a little bit, and I think that this team might actually work decently because we can try to use Tarmiel's stance turn 1 to do a little bit of damage reduction. We can use Twiggo a little bit in the back just to sort of buff HP for red units because they seem to kill Lost Vein pretty quickly, and the whole gimmick here is you're trying to get Frowdren to die so that way Melee can get his ult and sort of go off. I did put on as many HP cards as I could for artifacts. I don't think that that's necessarily, you know, needed, but just for good measure. And then we're going to be running Evasion Food because more often than not, the first move that they use is an AoE skill. And if we can soak that up with the Evasion, it honestly helps out so much for like damage. So we are actually going to get to go first. From my understanding, you want to try to stay above 200k so that way you can go first, I think is how that works, but obviously I'm not positive on that. I think let's just try to get a little bit of damage there. You want to try to make sure that Frowdren's cards are in hand so that way when he dies you can pull the ults. Another good thing about Tarmiel is that he is an AoE unit. Actually, this is gonna suck. It's gonna kill him and merge these two cards, which is not ideal, but it is what it is. So another AoE skill should kill Frowdren here. This is actually working out pretty nicely for the moment. We just got to see if our damage is gonna be on par enough. So normally, like once it gets to Freesia's like AoE card, I'm normally like suffering, like Lost Vein is normally dead by then. So I think we're just going to use both AoE ults here and I think the AoE card as well and see how that fares. So pretty good. We killed one. This ult should kill this one. We actually probably could have used the single target skill here and maybe have just killed like outright, but I assume we should be able to survive this turn, but you never know. All right, so increases damage taken. Okay, that actually worked out fantastically. Honestly, I know this isn't the most free-to-play friendly team or anything like that. Obviously, Tarmiel is on a lot of new banners and stuff like that nowadays, so if you can use him, I definitely recommend it. Just make sure that you're, instead of Lost Vein, if you don't have him, just try to use somebody that can do a big AoE ult. Just that's really going to be your big thing here. Blue Frowdren, I don't necessarily know if there's an easy way to get him. I don't even know if he's in the coin shop or not. I actually don't think he is because he's not technically a commandment or anything, but he's going to be kind of nice to have. I know that there is apparently a strat that you can use Goddess Elizabeth to rush her ult if you have a high level ult, or maybe not rush her ult, but if you can get her ult with Frowdren, I assume, first turn or second turn, then you can use that reflect to sort of just knock the damage back onto them. So you may have to just do a little bit of messing around with it. That was the team that I used, and honestly that worked out flawlessly if I'm not, you know, bragging too much, because honestly the other teams that I was using, they just didn't have enough like survivability, I guess. Lost Vein would die pretty much every time, and yeah, so definitely use Evasion Food. It's going to help you a lot with that first AoE. I definitely recommend you using Frowdren so that way you can actually get your ultimate first turn. If not, I assume you can maybe try to run or just try to like merge cards and stuff like that as much as possible. Sometimes you can get lucky and get a second card for Lost Vein if possible, and just merge those and try to rush his ult so that way whenever, you know, one of your characters might die or something like that, you can try to get the ult out second turn. So that's pretty much it. I don't really have anything else to go over. If you do know anything extra about the you know, this specific tower trial floor for floor 10, like if you know, if you've done experimenting with it and you can figure out any of the like the hidden unique passives or anything, feel free to leave them in the comments below. I'm sure it'll help somebody out if they're having trouble with the tower, so that way they can sort of play around that kind of thing. So that is it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Feel free to subscribe for more content in the future, and I'll see you guys in the next one.